Hello, students. Welcome to college. Welcome to Srimata Education official YouTube channel. So, in this live session, we are going to discuss about the development of child topic from the CDP section. So, the entire unit. So, this is the first unit in child development and pedagogy, development of child. So, the entire unit we are going to discuss in this particular live session. So, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, do subscribe to our YouTube channel and share our YouTube channel. We are providing coaching for the Telangana TET exam that is scheduled to be conducted in the June. So do like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done it. Now let's not waste much time, and let's get into the topic. So in this live session, we are going to give a detailed explanation of the development of child topic from the pedagogy section. So I'm sharing my screen so that it will be visible. We are discussing about development. This in this live session, the comprehensive guide on all the core concepts of child development includes growth, maturation to personality, mental health, and development theories going to discuss in this live session. This is one of the important chapters for the TET exam because at least four MCQs are expected from this chapter. Minimum four MCQs are expected from this chapter. So do listen to this live session carefully so that you will get a clarity on what all topics that need to be covered. What are the important concepts, topics, all details you will get a clear understanding in this live session. So I'm resharing my screen again. So there is some technical issue. I'm just resharing my screen again so that it will be so that you will be able to watch the session. Just a second, I'm sharing my screen. Yeah. So, child development and pedagogy, the detailed concept-wise explanation we are going to do in this live session. So, it will include growth and maturation, mental health, development theories. So, all these topics we are going to discuss in this particular live session. So, the primary concept, growth, development, and maturation. So, this we have already discussed in the previous class, but just I'm giving you one basic overview to understand. To understand the concept, I'm giving a basic overview. So growth is quantitative, physical changes, height, weight. It's a measurable process that stops at maturity. So this is one point. And development is both qualitative and quantitative. It's a continuous and holistic process from womb to tomb. So development is a continuous process, but growth stops at the maturity level. And maturation, biological unfolding of genetic potential. It sets the stage for learning and new skills. So that is about maturation. So some key principles of development. Continuity, development is a lifelong process with no fixed end point. So there is no end point for development. It's a continuous and lifelong process. Sequentiality follows cephalocardial, head to toe, and proximodestal, center to periphery pattern. So sequentiality, it is a combination of both the cephalocardial and proximodestal patterns. And interaction, development is the result of hereditary and environment. Individual differences mean personalized instructions is essential. So development is a combination of both hereditary and environment. So these are the three key principles of development. Now, factors influencing development. So, what are the important factors that influence the development? So, one is biological factors. So, biological factors include genetics, nervous system, endocrine glands, and physical health shape the foundation of development. So, these are the biological factors like genetics, nervous system, endocrine glands, and physical health shape the foundation of development. And psychological factors, intelligence, motivation, emotions, and learning capacity, all these influence on the development of the child. These are psychological factors are majorly intelligence, motivation, emotions, and learning capacity. So these are the psychological factors that have direct impact on the development of child. And sociological factors, family, peers, school environment, culture, and socio-economic status play a very critical role. So these are like critical sociological factors. Family is one important factor, peers, school environment, culture, and socio-economic status. So all these have direct impact on the development of child. So biological factors, psychological factors, and sociological factors, these are the important factors that are influencing the development of the child. So this is one of the important aspects. Now, dimensions and stages of development. So what are the different stages of development? First, let's see dimensions. So what are the dimensions? Psychological and motor. So psychological, gross and fine motor skills acquisition. So acquisition of Motor skills is one of the important dimensions of development. And cognitive development, memory, logic, and reasoning. So memory, logic, and reasoning come under cognitive development. Emotional and social, managing feelings and interacting with others. These are emotional and sociological dimensions that have direct impact on development. Moral and language, understand what is right and wrong, and communication skills. So this is also one of the important key dimensions of the development. So psychological and motor, cognitive, emotional and social, moral and language. These are the important dimensions of development. Remember this because MCQs are expected from this. And development stages. What are the different development stages? Very important. This table is very important because at least one MCQ is expected from this. Infancy. So infancy is from 0 to 2 years. It's rapid physical growth, sensory motor learning. So up to 2 years, it's called as infancy stage. So here the physical growth is rapid, and sensory motor learning is also very rapid. And early childhood, 2 to 6 years is considered as early childhood. Toy age, language explosion, preschool years. So these are majorly preschool years. Early childhood, 2 to 6 years is also known as toy age. The another word for this is toy age, and it's a language. We should like child learns language also at this particular age, early childhood. And late childhood is 6 to 12 years. This is also called as gang age. Logical thinking begins. So a child develops logical thinking only once he or she attains that 6 years. So from sixth year, they try to build this logical thinking aspect. Children and adolescence is from 12 to 18 years. Everything, it's all stress and storm, identity versus role confusion, puberty. Everything happens in 12 to 18 years. So it's a very confused age in the development of child, that 12 to 18 years, because they experience multiple aspects, they experience multiple experiences during this adolescence age, like 12 to 18 years. So it's a very confused age age in the dollar. So these are the development stages basically. Now let's get into the other details. So what are the different major development areas? Piaget cognitive development is a very Piaget cognitive development is very important in development theories. One MCQ is expected on this. He suggested 4 stages: sensory motor stage, pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, formal operational stage. So Piaget cognitive development, he suggested 4 stages basically. Sensory motor stage is one important stage, then pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, formal operational stage. So these are the 4 stages suggested by Piaget through cognitive development. And formal operation, key concepts include schema, assimilation, accommodation. So this is the right sequence: schema, assimilation, accommodation are the key concepts here. And Kohlberg suggested moral development theory. So the 3 levels of moral reasoning are pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. So these are the 3 levels that are proposed by Kohlberg in moral reasoning basically. And Chomsky, language theory, he proposed the language acquisition device. Language acquisition device is called as LAD. Believe that language ability is innate. So language ability is innate actually basically is according to Chomsky. And Erickson suggested psychosocial crisis. So there are 8 stages of psychosocial crisis. One is trust, mistrust, autonomy, and shame. Trust, mistrust, autonomy versus shame. So this is an example. 8 stages of psychosocial crisis. One important example in this include trust versus mistrust, autonomy versus shame. So the and next one is Carl Rogers humanistic theory. So it focuses on self and unconditional positive regard for healthy development. So Carl Rogers humanistic theory majorly focuses on the self and unconditional positive regard for healthy development. So self and unconditional positive regard, very important terms for the humanistic theories are proposed by Carl Rogers. So these are the important major development theories. Now individual differences. So what are the types of different individual differences? One is intra-individual. Intra-individual means differences within a single person. If there is a difference within a single person, it is called as intra-individual. Some examples are strong in maths but weak in English. There are different students. One student performs well in maths, one student performs well in science, one student perform poor in maths. So within a single child, there are multiple intra-individual differences basically. And next, inter-individual difference between two or more people in attitudes, aptitude, interest, and habits. So There are two kinds of differences majorly: intra-individual and inter-individual. Inter-individual means it's between two or more children. Intra-individual is within the single child basically. And then types of thinking. There are two types of thinking, very important for MCQs: divergent thinking and convergent thinking. So what is a divergent thinking? Divergent is more creative, many solutions out of the box thinking. Often you observe some children who think basically out of box, who think very creatively and in a very unique manner. So that kind of thought process is called as divergent thinking. And convergent thinking is these particular children are very logical. They are focused on single correct answer. They don't basically go into interpretations. In divergent thinking, a child goes into multiple interpretations when he is thinking about one particular point. But in convergent thinking, the child stays to the logical point and he sticks to one single aspect. He doesn't think multiple aspects. But in divergent thinking, multiple aspects in the thought process happen actually. So this is one important point. And then development of personality. So development of personality is a unique pattern of thinking, feeling and activity. It is shaped by hereditary, environment and structure. So personality is little biological, hereditary it is there, environmental aspect and physical structure is also there. Authoritarian. So in development of personality, one key aspect is authoritarian, strict rule based parenting with little warmth. So strict and rule based parenting, if there is a strict rule based parenting on the child becomes more authoritative. The child becomes more authoritative because he was brought up by the parents with more strict rules. Basically the parenting was strict. And then authoritative, this is authoritative, balance of warmth and structure, consider the ideal style. So most kids are authoritative only, not authoritarian. Authoritarian is different, authoritative is different. In authoritarian aspect, these kids seem very strict also because their parents are strict. And authoritative, they are very balanced and structured. And permissive, low boundaries, few rules enforced. So permissive, development of personality, permissive is one stage where these kind of kids are very like they don't have much boundaries, and very few rules are enforced on them in terms in while parenting. So they are very what you say compassionate kind of children. In the development of personality, if the child is permissive, he or she is little compassionate and neglectful, low warmth and low structure, detached parenting. If the child doesn't have a proper parenting from the beginning, from that infancy stage, the personality is often neglectful. The child doesn't have any interest on anything. He doesn't think much. He feels himself like he's often neglected. So parenting is a very important aspect for the developing of personality. Otherwise, it will impact the entire development process of the child. A child's self-concept, how they perceive their own abilities and identity, is deeply influenced by their rearing environment. So their environment, parenting, all these aspects are very crucial in the development of personality. And adjustment and mental health. So in mental health, the key concept adjustment is the process of maintaining harmony between a child's needs and environmental demands. So adjustment is something where a kid or a child learns to adjust to the situations, adjust based on the conditions. Common behavior problems include aggression, withdrawal and anxiety. So in adjustment process of the child, the common problem that occurs with the child behavior is sometimes they go aggressive, sometimes they resist themselves, and sometimes they improvise anxiety, they develop anxiety. So adjustment concept where behavioral problems usually come basically. And mental health is a state of emotional and psychological well-being essential for healthy development. So mental health is both emotional and psychologically connected. It leads to very healthy development of the kid. And defense mechanism, unconscious strategies children use to reduce anxiety. So to reduce the anxiety, some defense mechanism or repression, pushing distress thoughts out of conscious awareness, and projection, attributing one's own feeling to others. So often when you observe the kids, when they are anxiety, when they are anxious or when they are nervous, what they usually do is they project it. Project in the sense they share, they try to share their feelings to others. So this is called projection basically. This is very common among the children. And rationalization, creating logical justifications for emotional decisions. So they, in rationalization process, what they do is if the child is taking an emotional decision, the child creates some logical justification on why why he or she is taking that emotional decision. So that logical justification kids only develop. So this is very interesting actually. And regression, reverting to earlier less mature behavior under stress. So regression is something where the less mature behavior basically out of stress, and immaturity, they often go a little regressive. So these are defense mechanisms and methods of studying child development. So if you want to master the child development, some methods of study include introspection. So introspection is very important, and then observation. Everything is connected. Introspection, observation, and then case study, then experimental, and then anecdotal records, and cross-sectional and longitudinal. So these are the methods of studying child development. This is the right sequence. This is also important because an MCQ is expected on this. Each method offers unique lengths. Every method is unique and every method is different, but they are correlated. Longitudinal and cross-sectional approaches are especially valuable for tracking development change over the time, while case studies usually provide detailed insight of individual children. And development tasks and others, some development tasks, skills or milestones a child must master at a certain age, such as walking, reading, forming peer relationships. Mastery builds confidence and readiness for the next stage. So these are developmental tasks. And physical milestones, walking, fine motor control and coordination. And cognitive milestones include reading, logical reasoning, and problem solving. And social milestones include peer bonding, cooperation, and communication. And development hazards here are physical hazards. Sometimes illness, injury, or nutritional deficiencies might occur that impact the impaired growth. So these are some obstacles basically that disrupt the normal development. The obstacles that disrupt the normal development of a child are physical hazards, are like illness and nutritional deficiencies. Psychological effects, psychological hazards are lack of affection. If the child lacks affection from the beginning, it impacts the development. Trauma, neglect, or chronic stress. Every identification of hazards allows educators and caregivers to intervene and support healthy development. So this is the so that's all about child development and pedagogic part. I hope this particular session is helpful to all. We will also cover more and more topics very soon. So do like, share and subscribe to our channel. We will also run mock test sessions, important practice question sessions for the TET exam. So do like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay tuned to Srimata Education for more coaching classes and important updates on Telangana TET exam. Thank you.